justify the expenditure of the second venue of 20 million and allowances at 10 million and the marketing at 12 million. Your justification on this, maybe you could just assist the committee. Thank you.
Honorable Emase.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, when I was seated here waiting for the PS to come, I had only two concerns. One was on the funding to the Kenya House, but you have also justified. And having listened to the PS, I have learned that the budget was actually not 100 million, it was 200 million. You know, when we received the presentations from the PS, we were wondering why there was a similar budget, 100 million from the sports fund and another 100 million from, I think, is it the tourism fund? But now I think this clarifies that the budget was actually 200, so it was to be co-funded by two different funds. And we have been given a detailed explanation as to what this was, per diems, hiring of the venue, the events organizer, and many others. I think I want to rest that one. My other concern also was on the Kenyan dress. And as laymen, we were wondering, why would you need close to 100 million to develop a Kenyan dress? And again, we were concerned. It's been a lot of talk about having to develop the Kenyan dress for many years. So we wanted to know, and probably that is the only area, Madam Pierce, you'll have to clarify, whether there's been any other allocation in prior budgets. Have we ever had any other allocation towards developing the Kenyan dress? And if not, then I think then the allocation, which you have clearly clarified that you have not yet received, then I would want to say is properly there, and we would want to see how this is. Maybe you could explain what it entails, the process of developing a Kenyan dress. You know, if we understand the journey it takes, then you will justify the allocation and would not have so many questions. Thank you.
Honorable Karoli, then Bassett.
Chair, I have some comments on what Honorable Emase has just raised. I think the idea of a Kenyan dress has been with us for the last 15, 20 years. As a ministry, have you looked at the historical expenditure on this idea of developing a Kenyan dress? Because I think every administration comes with the idea that there'll be a Kenyan dress, money is spent, but we have never seen a Kenyan dress. So if you look at the archives, what is the cumulative amount so far spent on this idea of a Kenyan dress? Now, with regard to Kenya House, I'm just curious, was any revenue raised when the Olympics were being held? Because when I looked at the particulars you provided here, there were third parties who were offered the opportunity to do some business within the premises. Did you raise any appropriation in aid, Kenya House in Paris? And then, have you, as a ministry, looked back and prepared a report on what you think were the legacy achievements or the positive impacts of having a Kenya House at the Olympics? Curiously, your numbers, I've looked at the contract, I've not gone into detail with IMG, it is 189 million. But I'm seeing in your presentation, you are saying 190 has been paid and 9 million is still owed. So I don't know whether there was a variation of the contract, because what was signed was 180 million or something. A bid of 189 million was accepted. I would like to also just ask for some further information on Marsabit Cultural Center. How is that cultural? What are the elements of that cultural center? What are we looking forward to build? And if you've also, I understand you said it was a presidential directive, but I think it was a good idea. It should be replicated elsewhere. So we would be curious to know what are the elements, what does a cultural center entail, because, and whether you've thought of having a plan, a general plan, to support cultural centers in the 47 counties across the country. And finally, I would like to encourage you to expedite the completion of the Ushanga Kurio Mall at Sekenani. I mean, this is very useful to the ladies there, the bidders. If you go there, you feel sorry for them. I think we should expedite that. If there's anything in particular you want from the committee, it would be good. We'll want to know and support you. And World Minorities Day, I see this was the inaugural one, December 12th. I happen to be from a minority tribe called the Subas. We would be very happy to host you this year. I don't know what the plans are. How do we choose where you are going to be hosted? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Bashir. And then Yegon, then I'll give an opportunity to the peers to respond.
Thank you, Chair. My question is, how many people did you sponsor to the event in Paris? And what was the value in terms of the money invested? What did you get out of that money? Because you see, as taxpayers, it's important for Kenyans to know, with the 200 million, what did we generate with that money? So that at least we know if there was any need to burn 200 million in that event in the Olympics. Thanks.
Thank you. I would also like to ask this question about the item number 12, whereby 50 million was dispersed to design and develop a digital platform. And it was contracted at 46 million, and the amount dispersed is 50 million. So I would like to know, and how comes 50 million can be used to design or a digital platform? I think that is too much.
PS, kindly respond.
Thank you, honorable members. The first question was on the Kiswahili Day. How many days was it? The Kiswahili Day was running for a week in Mombasa. And the Kiswahili Day started on the 4th, not a week per se, but 4th up to the 7th of July 2024. And it was held in different venues, as we had different events to do. How do you justify the payments and the marketing? So, Honorable Chair, Honorable Members, the implementing agency was Bomas of Kenya. If I may, probably the CEO of Bomas of Kenya could help clarify on that, the payments and the marketing justification, which is totaling to 12,996,000. Through you, Chair.
It is okay. It's on order. It is in order.
Thank you, Chair. In regard to clarification for as of the first item on the publicity and the advertisement on the 12 million. Actually, this one includes both the print media, which we were having running a documentary on the Taifa Leo promotion of Swahili. And this one is actually on East Africa. Then beyond that, including the social media and of course all of influencers, and of course any advertisement that was running on TV show. Actually, this was the cost. In regard, Chair, on the justification of the second venue, specifically the 20.1, Chair, one thing you have to appreciate, when we talk of second venue, We had a venue which we had set. Unfortunately, we saw what happened. Then this particular venue had been set, we had to change immediately after we had done a fully set up due to Saba. So it's more or less, we had done more or less a double cost of the venue, where we had done a dome tent, and we were forced also to bring it down, and also we had to do a second venue. So we are talking of second
CEO, sorry. Just try to push your seat a bit.
Okay.
These guys would want to... Okay.
Then on the first venue is the venue where we are talking of Sarova White Sand. Sarova White Sand is where we had a conference, and the conference was for 300 packs, where people were able to look at matters to do with Kiswahili. So this venue was the one which was on the final day on 7th. Then we had the other venue which we were supposed to do at Mamangina. Given we were supposed to have now the Saba, now we had to change the venue now, and we had to have another venue at the National Museum. That's how the justification on those particular 3 venues that we have. I submit, Chair.
Please proceed.
Thank you, Chair. The second question, rather, was from Honorable Emase on